Hey everyone, Chef Ben Davis here at the Roth Living Showroom in Denver, doing a quick little Christmas cookie that you can make with your family and friends. Hopefully this holiday season, fun for the kids to make. We're going to make a candy cane style cookie, so very quick to put together, easy to do. So let's get started right away. Obviously we're going to start with some butter at room temperature. Use some unsalted butter at room temperature. Gonna put that into our mixer and crank that up. And we'll just soften it just a second, just to get it a little bit soft before we add the sugar. So once that's soft, we're going to add the sugar. Super basic cookie, so you can flavor it with a lot of things if you want. If you don't want to use just vanilla, you could use some different flavoring to go in here. Now here's the most important part. We want to make sure that we cream this really, really well. A lot of people, they just do it till it gets blended together and it's all combined, but you really want to take it farther than that. You really want to get it nice and soft and well beaten and aerated so that we're getting the best texture that we possibly can out of our cookie. So let's just let it cream for, 5 or 6 minutes to get it super soft, which is really important why you want that butter at room temperature. It's going to help bring it together in the best way. So just getting it really nicely combined and light. So each time we're just increasing that speed ever so slightly. And so now we're just about medium and we're just going to let that go. So while that's creaming, we're going to blend together our dry ingredients. So we've got some all-purpose flour. Just put that into a bowl. So all-purpose flour, there we go. Got a little bit of baking soda and some fine salt, whether it's sea salt or iodized salt. Either one works well. And we're just going to blend that together now with a whisk so that it's nicely combined as our sugar and butter are softening and getting nice and creamy and light in our mixer. So that is set to go. And then other ingredients, very, very simple. As I said before, just got a whole egg, a little bit of vanilla extract, and then we need some red food coloring for that as well. So again, just going to let this keep creaming for a little while, about another 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and finish it up. All right, so now we're getting to the end. We've creamed our butter and sugar really nice. I'll give you a quick look at it just so you can see what you should expect it to look like when it's ready to go. So you can just see that it's nice and light, right, in color and also in texture in the bottom of the bowl. So just really, really nicely creamed together. And this is really important. A lot of people, they skip doing this step extensively enough, and then they end up with, they're wondering why their cookies aren't quite as nice as they would hope they would be, but you want to make sure that you take the time to cream it properly, give it that extra time on the mixer while it's doing that. So let's just turn it on a nice low speed now. We're going to add our egg. So just crack the egg, make sure that obviously no shells go in. We're just going to let that blend until it's fully, and then we've got a little bit of vanilla extract. Just give that a chance to basically work it so you can't see the yolk anymore. That's what's really you're going for. You don't want to see any of the egg yolk in there. And you might need to scrape down the bowl just a little bit at this point. Just shut off your mixer. Just give it a quick little scrape just to get everything blended nicely in the bottom of the bowl. Because obviously there aren't that many ingredients in these cookies, so we want to just make sure that everything is combined as well as possible at this point. So, all right, so just give that a quick little mix. Again, just so you can't see the egg blended in, the vanilla should disappear into the butter and sugar. Should be a nice homogeneous color. That's really what you're going for at this point to get it nicely combined. All right. So once we've achieved that, go ahead, set it on a low speed and add your flour in basically 2 additions. put about half of it in the mixer. And just let that blend so you can't see any more raw flour. You might just want to brush off the beater a little bit on your paddle attachment. And then once you can't see it anymore, go ahead and add the second half of the flour and mixture. And again, just make sure everything is getting nicely combined, just to where you can't see any of the raw flour anymore in the mixing bowl. That's all it takes just to get it to that. And if it's a little crumbly, that's all right too, because you're going to stir it together with a little bit more. So just so it comes together, and voila, we're right there. All right. So the rest of it, if we need to, we can just do it with our spatula at the end. All right. So go ahead and clean off your spatula. With your spatula, your attachment, just get all that dough off of there. I'll give you a quick look at it here once this is cleaned up. You don't want to waste cookie dough, that's for sure. All right. So, as you can see, it's pretty stiff, but still soft enough that we can stir it with our spatula. So now what you want to do is you basically want to divide it in half. So, got a couple of bowls here. So just kind of roughly eyeball it. You know, you can just sort of draw a line down the middle. If you want to get really technical, I guess you could weigh it, but just basically divide it into two separate bowls. And again, you want equal amounts. Just make sure you get it all scraped out. This one looks a little less full than the other bowl, so we'll just add it to this bowl. All right. So now we've got our two separate amounts of dough, right? Roughly equal in volume. So what you want to do is take one of the bowls and you want to add just enough red food color to give it a pretty deep color. Right? I've got to take the top off of this without spilling red food color everywhere, which could be rather disastrous. Let's just start, depending on your red food color, you're probably going to add 2 or 3 drops. This is a pretty intense color. So now, just going to blend it in so you can get the red part of the dough. And again, you want that color to be really uniform. So at this point, now the dough is really soft. So it's easy to mix, so we can make our candy cane shape, but we're going to want to chill it before we roll them out and create the cookies. So I want to put it in the refrigerator for, 15, 20 minutes. And then we're going to come back, we're going to roll them out and shape our cookies. So let's go ahead and just chill them down in a cold refrigerator for about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, so we've rested our dough for 15, 20 minutes in a refrigerator. And then you just need to find some way to portion it out so you get equal scoops of both the red and the white dough. So what I'm going to use is a melon baller, but you could use a small scoop or a spoon, but you just want to get that ratio just about the same. So what I'm just going to do is take my melon baller and scoop the dough nice and cold. You might need to use a spoon if you use a melon baller, and then just scooch out of the melon baller the different colors, right? So you've got one of the red, one of the white. Go back. I always recommend do the white first, right? Because it'll show up much more if you scoop the red first. It'll show up on the white dough. And you've got the nice little balls of dough, and they're all portioned out. And it's nice to let it kind of come just to room temperature for a little bit. And then just take the two pieces, and I'm just going to roll them out into a snake or a little bit of a log there, about 4 inches long, depending on the size of your scoop. You want them to make them, obviously roughly equal in terms of length. And then what you do is you just pinch one end together, and then just take one color and kind of loop it over the other, and then just keep repeating that, just twisting them down, right? So you've got a nice coil, right? Just like that. And then what I like to do is just take it and give it a quick little roll, just like that, just to kind of blend them together, get them to stick, and then obviously curl it into the shape of a candy cane and put it onto your parchment lined baking sheet. And you just keep repeating that over and over until you have all of your cookies all lined up, right, and ready to go. Now, you've got your Wolf ME or dual fuel oven preheated in the bake mode. You're just going to do one tray to 350 degrees. That seems to be just about the ideal way to bake these. You don't want to bake them too quickly because they will spread just a little bit, but we want to just make sure that we're giving them a chance to hold their color and shape of the candy cane. So we'll make another one here before we put these into the oven, and you're going to bake them in that nice hot oven for about 12 to 14 minutes, just until they're starting to get a little bit of golden brown on the bottom of the cookie. You don't want the top to brown too much because that would ruin all the colors that you've made. So we're just going to pop this tray into the oven and let them bake, and then we'll come back and show you how they turned out. You want to keep them nice and clean on the top. You don't want them to brown at all on the top, just a little bit nice and firm. That's all you need. Got a cooling rack here. So we're just going to slide our cookies onto the cooling rack and let them cool here for, 5 or 6 minutes if you can resist not eating them, but just letting them go. This is a lot of fun for kids, obviously bright colors, great for the holidays. So hopefully you'll enjoy this recipe with your family at home this Christmas season. And we hope to see you back here again on the Roth Living YouTube channel for more tips and tricks for using these wonderful Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove appliances. So thanks, and everybody have a wonderful holiday.